You're watching a Highwire Media podcast.
I'm diving into everything I know about Tyler Robinson, the man authorities say shot and killed Charlie Kirk, 22-year-old conservative activist. He was arrested around 10 p.m. on Thursday night. I've gotten a hold of all the court documents related to the case, and I'll be going through those with you. But the big question is, why? Why did Tyler Robinson do this? His family says he had been getting more involved in politics, that he didn't like Charlie Kirk, but what turned someone into a killer? And that's what I'm trying to unpack here. So I just got the official charging documents from the court in Utah for Tyler Robinson. The charges are as follows: aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing seriously bodily injury, and obstruction of justice. All of these fall under capital first-degree felony conduct, and the governor, as you've probably already heard, is already calling for the death penalty. Now I want to read you the probable cause affidavit word for word so you know exactly what the authorities are basing these charges on. So, quote, the following information was obtained by police officers, multiple video recordings posted on social media websites, Utah Valley University campus surveillance cameras, and those who witnessed the incident. On September 10th, 2025, Charles James Kirk was on the Utah Valley University campus in Orem, Utah, for a political event. He's a conservative political activist and was scheduled to speak in the courtyard area west of the Losi Center building. According to video footage, Charlie was wearing a white t-shirt and dark pants, sitting under a white canopy facing east. The event had hundreds of attendees. People were surrounding him, left, right, front, and rear, under and around the canopy. Behind it, there's a walkway for accessing various parts of the campus. He was holding a microphone and speaking to the crowd. Then at approximately 12:23 p.m., a loud gunshot rang out. He appeared to have been hit in the neck. Blood started coming out from the left side of his neck as he fell to his left. He was transported to a hospital in Orem and later pronounced deceased. Investigators reviewed UVU's surveillance cameras. They observed an individual on the rooftop of the Losi Center at the time of the shooting. From that point forward, this person is referred to as the suspect. Based on camera footage, the suspect appeared to be a white male with dark hair, wearing a dark hat, sunglasses, and a long-sleeved black shirt with a picture of the American flag. He had colored shoelaces, and the shoes looked like Chuck Taylor Converse-style shoes. He also carried a dark-colored backpack. He walked with a distinct gait. Prior to the shooting, he had a stiff right leg, moving slowly. His ability to bend the right leg seemed restricted. This matches a TMZ video that surfaced, where he seemed to be limping while walking towards the shooting. It's believed the rifle may have been hidden under his clothes, causing that limp. But in other surveillance footage, he wasn't limping. That was a big point I noticed and mentioned to some people earlier this morning. Investigators tracked the suspect's movements on UVU's campus starting around 11:50 a.m. on September 10th. At 11:50, UVU cameras caught him walking across a grassy area north of Campus Drive near 800 West. He walked south through the parking lot towards a pedestrian tunnel beneath Campus Drive. He paused at the top of the tunnel stairs, pulled a cell phone from his right pocket using his right hand, and at 11:53, he put it back into his pocket. He was later recorded walking on the north side of the Losi Center around 12:02, still showing that same stiff leg gait. He entered the building through the southeast corner doors, walked to a short concrete wall separating the common area from the rooftop, and at 12:17, he climbed over the wall and crouched down on the north side of the rooftop. At 12:22, he stood up and started running across the rooftop. The limp was no longer visible, and again, this contrasts with the TMZ video showing a limp. So then it says that the suspect ran to the west side of the rooftop and scooted along the rooftop area as he got closer to the edge. Around 12:22, he laid down in a position consistent with a prone shooting position, right near the edge, facing west, directly towards the courtyard where the event was happening. The rooftop of the building overlooks the courtyard where Charlie Kirk was speaking. The building is east of the courtyard, giving the shooter a clear vantage point. Then at exactly 12:23, Charlie Kirk was shot. Immediately after the shot, surveillance shows the suspect standing up suddenly from the edge of the rooftop and sprinting north across it. He ran to the northeast corner, approached the edge, and placed a dark-colored item on the rooftop. Then he lowered himself off the roof, and that's the video we've all seen. He dropped down onto the grass below, then ran north near the parking lot to the east of the Losi Center. Around 12:24, he ran across Campus Drive Road carrying an item. It's not clear from the video what that item was. North of Campus Drive is a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators searched that area and discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was confirmed to be a bolt-action with a scope mounted on top. Investigators found engravings on the bullet casings, both fired and unfired. One fired casing had the phrase, "Notices bulge. Ow, what's this?" Apparently, there's an old internet troll phrase originally tied to roleplay and furry memes. One unfired casing read, "Hey fascist, catch," with an arrow symbol and 3 down arrows. That seems to reference a sequence of controller inputs from the video game Helldivers 2. I should say Helldivers 2 that unleashes bomb. Another casing read, "Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao." That's a line from an Italian anti-fascist song from World War II, used as a rallying cry by resistance fighters. The last casing said, "If you read this, you're a gay, LMAO." That last one seemed like a trollish, mocking message, possibly meant to provoke or to humiliate. Investigators also found a shoe print on the northeast corner of the rooftop where the suspect had climbed down. The tread matched Converse-style shoes consistent with what the suspect was wearing. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson contacted a family friend. That friend then reached out to Washington County Sheriff's Office, saying that Robinson had confessed, or at least he implied that he committed the shooting. The information was then passed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and investigators at the scene, and also to the FBI. Investigators pulled up additional surveillance footage from UVU and confirmed Robinson arrived on campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at around 8:29 a.m. on September 10th. In that footage, he's seen wearing a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When investigators located and encountered Robinson early on September 12th in Washington County, he was still wearing clothing consistent with the surveillance images. Investigators interviewed Robinson's family members, and one of them said that Tyler had become more political in recent years. They recalled a recent dinner just before September 10th, where Tyler talked with another family member about Charlie Kirk coming to UVU. Tyler said he didn't like him or his viewpoints. The family member also described Kirk as full of hate and said he was spreading hate. That same family member confirmed that Tyler drove a gray Dodge Challenger. Authorities also tracked down and interviewed Tyler's roommate. According to the roommate, Tyler had made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked to see the messages. The roommate opened Discord, showed the messages, and let the investigators photograph the screen. The messages included conversations between the roommate and a contact named Tyler with an emoji icon. Here's what the messages revealed. Tyler talked about retrieving a rifle from a drop point. He described leaving it in a bush, and he also referenced engraving bullets, a rifle with a scope, and changing outfits. The roommate's cooperation and the content of the messages were cited in the affidavit. Based on all of this, the authorities stated, quote, "Based on detailed evidence in the statement, I believe there is probable cause that Tyler Robinson committed the crimes." And that's the affidavit. The full probable cause statement, I wanted to read it word for word so you guys could understand exactly what they're basing the charges on. So again, just to recap, these are the official charges: aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing seriously bodily injury, and obstruction of justice. And the governor has already made it clear that they're going to pursue the death penalty. And this is Utah, one of the few states that still has the firing squad as a legal method of execution. So let that sink in for a second. That's how serious this case is being treated by the state. This isn't just about a political assassination. It's about what this act represents, how calculated it was, and the deeper threat it poses to democracy, free speech, and civic life in general. So let me go back to the bullet casings for a minute. I've been digging in what those inscriptions actually mean because they tell us something about the mindset of this shooter. First one, "Notices bulge. Ow, what's this?" Uh, it's an old internet meme originated in trolling culture, ties to role playing communities, and even furry subcultures. It was meant to sound provocative or absurd. Um, hey, fascist, catch with the arrow symbols up and three downs. This one is interesting. It actually seems to reference a controller input sequence from the game Helldivers 2, where those exact inputs trigger a bomb strike. And the third one, oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, 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 is a line from a famous Italian anti fascist song from World War II. It was a resistance anthem against Nazi occupation. This clearly shows the shooter was drawing ideological inspiration, at least in his own mind, from historical movements. If you read this, you are gay, LMAO. That one's self explanatory. It's immature, mocking, and rooted in online edgelord humor, possibly meant to degrade or troll the victim even after death. All these inscriptions, when you look at them together, they paint a picture of someone who's politically radicalized, but also deeply immersed in internet meme culture. It's this strange hybrid space where irony, violence, and ideology start to blur together. Here's what really troubles me, and this is something I keep coming back to. When I look at pictures of Tyler Robinson's family, just the surface stuff, social media images, they seem like a regular family. They live in rural Utah, like a lot of families in Utah. They look like nice people, friendly, normal, and yet something happened. Somewhere along the way, Tyler went from being just a politically interested kid to someone who thought killing a person or assassinating someone was a legitimate way to deal with disagreement. How does that happen? How do you go from, I don't like this guy's politics, to I'm going to go kill him in broad daylight? It's chilling. And the part that really haunts me is that this isn't unique. It's part of a larger pattern I'm starting to see. I've talked about uh, shootings in the past on this podcast, and something about this one feels different, a little heavier. I mean, recently, Minneapolis had that mass shooting at a Catholic church where kids were killed, and that one definitely hit hard. And then in Minnesota again, before that, there were two Democratic lawmakers that were assassinated. That was kind of felt dark in a different way. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the accumulation of tragedy. Maybe it's the open celebration online that you see of people cheering for what happened. Not just anonymous trolls either. I mean, I've seen doctors, teachers, professionals putting their faces on camera, celebrating this man's death like it was some kind of justice. And that's what scares me the most. It feels like we've crossed the line as a country. Let me be clear, this wasn't just an act of violence. This was a direct attack on democracy itself. Charlie Kirk, whether you agree with him or not, was exercising his right to speak. He was engaging with the public. He didn't hide behind a TV camera or sit behind a computer. He went out into the communities, onto campuses, into rooms full of people who disagreed with him, and he let them speak. You can see it in the videos. He listened, he responded thoughtfully. He gave people a platform, even if they were shouting at him. That's what democracy is supposed to look like. And now, he's gone. Not because of an accident, not because of a natural death, because someone put a bullet in his neck for what he believed. That's not just a tragedy, that's a collapse of something fundamental. The governor's call for the death penalty came before they even made the arrest public. That's how fast this escalated. And again, Utah is one of the states where firing squads are still legal. So that's on the table. Do I think it'll deter future killers like this? I don't know. It could go either way. It might give some people a sense of justice. It might also turn Robinson into a martyr, especially among those who already sympathize with his motives. And that's the danger. You turn the trial and punishment into a symbol, and it starts attracting more radicals, not less. We've seen it before with other attackers. Luigi Mangione comes to mind. The more notoriety they get, the more they become icons for the most unstable corners of the internet. What makes this all feel so different, so much more dangerous, isn't just the act itself, it's the reaction to it. When 9/11 happened, we came together as a country. We were united, at least for a while. That was an external threat, an outside enemy attacking us. But now this is different. This is internal. This is us attacking ourselves. What I'm seeing now, what I see in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder, is a level of division and hatred that I haven't seen before. The fact that people weren't just silent or conflicted, but were openly celebrating the assassination of a fellow American in broad daylight, that's terrifying. And it's not just teenagers trolling. I saw a Miami anesthesiologist, a Virginia school teacher, posting things like, good for him, he got what he deserved. These aren't just fringe people in online echo chambers. These are people working in schools, hospitals, your communities. And that's the part that stays with me. I know I keep coming back to this, but I can't stress it enough. Disagreeing with someone's politics is not a justification for violence. Charlie Kirk may have said things you don't like. You may disagree with every word he ever spoke, and that's your right. It's America. But what he was doing, standing in a public square, inviting people to challenge him, that's what democracy is supposed to look like. That's what we used to do. Two people with different views would stand up and debate publicly and passionately, but peacefully. He wasn't storming a building. He wasn't inciting violence. He was talking. He was letting others talk. That's it. That's all he was doing. And someone decided that even that, just using words, was enough to warrant death. That's a chilling precedent. The investigation is ongoing. Authorities are still combing through digital evidence, Discord messages, online communities. Potential warning signs? I imagine they're going to look closely at how Tyler Robinson was radicalized and whether anyone enabled or encouraged him. But in terms of broader accountability, that's going to take more than an arrest. It's going to take a national reckoning with the kind of toxic environment we've created. Online and media, and politics, we've reached a place where killing someone over a political disagreement feels like a natural extension of the rhetoric we hear every day. That's not normal. That's not acceptable. If we don't turn this ship around fast, I don't want to imagine where we go next. What happened to Charlie Kirk wasn't just the loss of a person. It was a direct hit on the idea that we can disagree and still coexist. Because once bullets become part of the conversation, it's no longer a conversation, it's a war. And if that's where we're headed, if every disagreement becomes a potential death sentence, then we've lost more than one man. We've lost something foundational, something we may not get back. That's where I'll leave it for now. This is the True Crime Never Sleeps show. Thanks for staying with me through this, and we'll see you next time.